Hi there, and welcome back to our coping skills series. I'm your host, Tom DeBray, and welcome back. If this is your first time checking in here, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about positive affirmations, and I still remember, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I still remember back to Saturday Night Live where his name was Stuart, and it was like, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. And so and so the skits that he used to have with that were quite humorous, but positive affirmations actually do have a place especially in the short term. So because what it does is when our mindset is all to the negative, which it can be if we're feeling low or if we're feeling anxious, where we have a tendency to just kind of have that laser focus on just the awful stuff, right? So if we think back to if you went through the unhealthy thinking habit YouTube video, um, and if you haven't, I would encourage you to do that, because this is what we're going to be basing today off of. So if you haven't done that, pause the video, go check out unhealthy thinking habits, and come on back. For those that have taken it, what this is doing is it helps us to change our mindset. And so some of the things that you can use for positive affirmation is to just start to get the process of changing that mindset. That maybe things aren't all negative, or maybe things aren't all bad. And then you can start looking at some of the factual things of it. So some things that might be beneficial is, like, if you're having anxiety, well, a little anxiety is okay. I can ignore it, or it's not going to hurt me. Um, or if you're having really high expectations of yourself, and it's whether it's chores at home and you're really not up to it, or whether it's your expectations of being in the gym, and you're just like, you're tired, you haven't slept well. I mean, sometimes it's okay, like, okay, so you beating yourself up mentally about some of these scenarios, and sometimes it's okay, and so there was a song that I always liked, because it was an interesting mindset, as far as it's okay not to be okay. And so you don't have to be okay all the time. You don't have to be at 100% all the time. It's actually impossible to be at 100% all the time. And so again, talking about like one of the previous classes where we lower our expectations of an event, and also try and frame it. It's like it's okay. I don't have to have everything perfectly right. I didn't do well this time around, but I've done well with this before. So this is just a one-off. And so using those positive affirmations can be very beneficial to start to switch that mindset. Especially again, if you're using, I've said this before in one of the other classes, if you're using I always do this, or I never get this right, that's a good chance that that's not true. And that there's, so that's that black and white thinking, or all or nothing. And it's okay to challenge that. And it's like, well, did I do it? Have I done this 100% of the time where this is always happened? Probably not. Even if it's one time out of 20 that it hasn't happened, is, well, no, you know what? This is, there was that one time where this was a different, and that was better. So maybe I'll focus my attention on what I did with that time. Okay. So I want you to try and use this technique at least twice over the next 7 days, where you're in a situation where you are feeling overly negative, or your expectations are really high and you're feeling really frustrated. I want you to use a positive affirmation to try and counter what's kind of going on for you. Okay, so I want you to see how that goes, and thanks for tuning in today, and we're going to see you in the next session.